It all started with a dream. I was on the side of a cliff sort of like when I was a child, staring at the ocean, and all of a sudden these beautiful, like 50 or 60 humpback whales just fly out of the ocean and above me, and the rain, it was sort of the water just raining all over me that I really remembered. I remember feeling these warm feelings from it and just feeling very inspired by the whole dream. So after I had this dream, I ended up meeting someone else who had very similar dreams. I decided to go on a trip back to Hawaii to see if I could get closer to the whales, just sort of be around them. We rented this 30-foot boat from a husband and wife, and who have been doing it for 18 years. When we got there, it was me, my boyfriend at the time, and two other gay people. And the captain was very disturbed by the fact that we were gay. And about 2 hours into the cruise, he stops the boat. He said, "If you guys watch over there," he goes, "there are these three males and they're chasing this female and they're gonna start fighting, so it's gonna be an interesting show." So we sat there, and sure enough, the males start fighting with each other. And as the males were fighting, the female, her tail goes up like this and goes and dives into the water, and I'll never forget it. It was so close, and it was just so beautiful the way her tail went like this. Without realizing it, we were sitting there for so long, the female came surfacing, and I'm at the edge of the boat, and the female just came right up to the tip of the boat out of nowhere really fast. And we just kind of watched her, and the captain was like, "Don't worry, she's not gonna do nothing." But she turned and she started going around the boat, and she went around again. About the second time she was going around, I noticed that the captain of the boat looked a little disturbed, like something was wrong. And the next thing I know is he says, "Guys, I'm gonna ask a really weird question." Yeah, he goes, "But have any of you guys been having dreams about whales?" And I looked at my boyfriend at the time and I said, "Yeah." The next thing I know, the captain is saying, "She's gonna wanna meet you. You have got to get in the water with her." My boyfriend at the time got in the water, so I get into the water too. And when I got in the water, I was hyperventilating. I could not breathe. And my ex grabs my hand and he points down. And he goes, "Look." And I looked down, and at first I thought it was the ground. But I quickly realized it wasn't the ground, it was her. And she slowly came up to us, we're here, and all of a sudden her whole body went like this, and her tail was facing the ground. And that's the first time that I got eye contact with her. And when me and my boyfriend got that first eye contact, it was this immediate sense of calm. It was immediate. It was just like I was hyperventilating 1 second, and the next second I was totally calm, and I knew that I was safe. The next feelings that happened were that, whoa, she is curious. She is looking at you in the way that like a human being would look at you, but in a much older, much wiser place. It was hard to explain it, and it's literally impossible to explain to people how that felt at that moment. But when she left, we got back on the boat, and me, the captain, and my boyfriend at the time were crying. There was no other way to sort of describe in words. We couldn't talk, we just sobbed. But when we calmed down, the captain was moved because 18 years prior, I guess, his wife and him, they had bought a boat, and they started having these wild dreams of whales together at the same time. And within a week or two of having these dreams, They were out in the ocean and they had this whale just circle and circle and circle, and they finally just went into the water and the whale came up to them and then left. And it happened to them twice in their lives. And that's how he knew that one of us had been having dreams. That's why when I say it all started with dreams, it all started with a dream. I mean, it's insane. I was looking for a medium that would tell my story in the right way. My husband mentioned that, well, since you played with lava, you should play with glass because it's hot. And I did. And when I experienced glass for the first time, it was fascinating because it brought back all those memories right back to me. So it was like sort of this full circle moment. The glass, of course, because when it's forming, it's hot and it's got this crazy lava and it reminds me and it feels alive, you know? And it's also very fragile, just like the environment is. And the driftwood I love to use because of its shapes and its organic feel. And people see a lot of different things and a lot of different images show up in them. I think the fun part about driftwood is that finding element, and that it's really just part of the environment that people just walk over. They don't really see, they don't really care about it. But when I take it and make it into a piece of art, it's glorified in the way that it should be glorified. From a very young age, I knew that one day I'd have to share with the world how I saw and experienced everything around me. I came from a very traditional Catholic family and in a very sort of macho society in Hawaii. And being gay really sort of was not accepted at the time. And I got very bullied, I got teased a lot. I just didn't feel accepted in a lot of different ways. And the only way that I dealt with that was to sort of venture off into the nature that was around me, which was beautiful. Through all those experiences though, I sort of learned about nature in a different way. I realized that everything was conscious. Everything had a feeling to it. Whether it was swimming with dolphins and seeing the way that they play and they interact, to when I would go and walk down to the lava flows that flow near our house, it would be sort of like I realized that it was breathing and moving and growing. It was just as alive as anything else. And those things stayed with me. And I knew that one day, I knew from a very young age that one day I'd have to explain to the world how I saw this.